Netflights.com, sponsors of the William Hunt Trilby Tour.
Welcome back to the Buckinghamshire and the Trilby Tour professional final, as 2009 champion Phil Archer prepares to get his title defence underway. Playing alongside the 2009 and 2010 amateur champions Charlie Lydiard and Chris Dyson respectively. The spotlight is on Phil today. And what a way to start your title defence. Straight down the middle then from Phil Archer. That's certainly given the amateur champion Chris Dyson something to think about. I think he's content with his trophy, and today is all about just trying to get this ball round to not embarrass himself in any way. I don't think he's going to do that. That's a lovely shot away from the first tee for Chris Dyson. So Phil Archer and Chris Dyson away safely. And this final group is completed by the man that is looking to add the professional title to his CV. Claimed the amateur title back in 2009 and turned professional almost immediately. Charlie Lydiard, the last player to tee off in this year's professional final. All three players then in our final group, away from the tee and out onto the course. Let's hear now from the defending champion.
Well, the tournament is William, really. He's kind of his whole enthusiasm about the tournament from the word go, from when it started at Stoke Park, and he's brought it to the Buckinghamshire here. He is the Trilby Tour, basically. He enthuses everybody, and everybody gets involved through that. And what he makes it as winner takes all is, like I say, it makes you go out and you've got to shoot the scores from the word go. There's no kind of shuffle into position for the Sunday afternoon, last 9 holes. It's basically, you've got 18 holes to prove yourself, and then you've got 3 holes to prove yourself again. So I'm going to go at it from the word go. Yeah, right from the word go, try and make birdies, and you just got to go as low as you can to try and get that top 4. That's what it's all about, really. Looking at the board there, there's some really good players out there today, and like you've got Charlie, who's turned pro as well, the winner from last year, so he seems like a confident lad, and he's playing with him today. And yeah, there's a few other guys that can very much in contention. I was watching it yesterday with the winner, Chris, yesterday, and he was playing off 7 handicap, but in the playoff he never missed a shot. It was quite impressive to watch. The strike of the shots he was doing, he never missed the middle of the club for 3 holes, and so if he can handle that sort of pressure with all them people following, I don't think he's going to be too daunted playing with me. I would think if you're getting 4 or 5 under, you're going to get close to the top 4 there today, so I think 5 under would be my aim. Anything lower would be a bonus. I think we'd get into the playoff. And no, the course is fantastic. It's a lovely layout here. I've had a little walk around yesterday, and the condition of it's very good. The putts seem to be rolling nice and pure on the greens, so there's no fault on the course side. So it's just there's going to be no excuses at the end of the day.
Phil Archer then still most people's man to beat, and Neil Rowlands was certainly trying to do exactly that. Neil stood on the 18th tee at 4 under. And probably felt like just one more birdie would guarantee at least a shootout place for the top 4, if not an automatic entry into the 3-hole playoff final. But he did what so many of the pros were doing at the last hole, leaving it short on the lower tier with a tricky and treacherous putt for birdie left. Phil didn't get off to the fast start he was looking for. In fact, he spluttered to 1 under and then remained there, unable, like so many others on the day, to break the deadlock. 11 holes still to play, but already there was a sneaking suspicion that it will be a new name on the trophy in 2010. The first ever name on the Trilby Tour Pro Trophy, though, was this man, Steve Cowell. Hold that monster putt to beat Ben Welsh on the extra playoff hole at Stoke Park in 2007, only to be beaten in similar circumstances by Phil Archer here at the Bucks last year. Steve couldn't get past level par, and like Phil, he would need to fight hard on the closing stretch. Neil Rowlands then to hit what has become the signature putt at the Trilby Tour Pro Final. This one to go 5 under. Just watch the S-shaped double break. And watch it carefully, because with this pin position it probably won't be the last time we see this putt today. Not this time for Rowlands, but left with that for 4 under. Scott Drummond, like Roger Chapman, couldn't make headway on the course, and despite just edging this mini chipping contest with Steve Cowell at the 12th, it was scant consolation. It looked like Cowell and Drummond were heading for the playoff, but probably as pundits on the playoff panel. Neil Rowlands then with just one more test in regulation, standing between him and the outright clubhouse lead. And in it went. Let's hear from the man himself.
Yeah, I played well. Had a bit of a shaky three-putt on 17. Played it a bit safe down there and three-putted that, but then solid finish. But yeah, I played nicely today, I must admit. I was happy with it.
So, I mean, at the moment, -4 could potentially be in a playoff. We'll obviously find out later on in the day, but 17 will be one of the playoff holes. How do you feel about that?
I'll probably play it differently. I think once I'm in the playoff, I might just get the driver out and give it a smack. But it's a funny scenario when you're just trying to get into the top 4. If you're in a tournament, you'd probably take driver out all day and try and get to 6 or 7 under. But playing it when you know you're there or thereabouts is tricky. But I'll probably give it a smack next time if I'm lucky enough to get in, yeah.
And how's the course been playing today?
The course is lovely. Yeah, it's a nice course. Greens run well. It's my first time round it, and I'd heard it was good, and it was as good as I'd heard. It was really nice out there. Enjoyed it.
It was time to trot out a few cliches for Phil Archer. And at 12, you can't keep a good man down seemed like the obvious one, but the big man wasn't giving his fans much cause to believe that. Phil, who so nearly carded a 59 at Celtic Manor a few years ago, was struggling to record anything better than 1 under in some testing conditions, which, as things stood, wouldn't be good enough for the playoff. Now, last year, Jamie McLean got so close to the playoff, missing out by a single shot, and on the 17th tee, it was looking like history would repeat itself. But the Aussie at 2 under, a former member of the US Tour, knuckled down and unleashed one of his now legendary strikes to at least give himself a chance of birdie. There's no doubt about it, that boy can hit a golf ball. Creeping under the radar was Tom Reed at 3 under. A stunning round from the brand new pro was achieved with some classy wedge work to those flags John O'Leary had tucked away on each green. A good tee shot at 18 would give Tom every chance for at least a shootout place, but instead his whole round was plunged into jeopardy. Phil Archer needed something to drop to get his round underway and to bump him off 1 under. But unfortunately, this wasn't it. And with par now looking distinctly tricky, Arch was looking at going back to level. Jamie McLean was still in with a shout, providing this chip was worth more than a whimper. Not his Sunday best, but leaving that to move to 3 under and into shootout territory. Tom Reed was at least dry and out of the sand, and he went on to count his blessings in some style. Almost no green to work with and a slope to take the ball away from the flag. He at least gave himself a chance to hang on to that 3 under score. And talking of hanging on, that's exactly what Phil Archer was faced with at 12. Chris Dyson and Charlie Lydiard looking on, as the defending champion's grip on his title was weakened still further. Not a good day at the office so far for Phil Archer. Tom Reed's day was all about this putt, and for a man who says his putting has cost him dear in 2010, there didn't look to be a lot wrong with that one. 3 under in the clubhouse and certainly in the mix.